Welcome back for another video. 2 game weeks to go. It's the penultimate game week. What are the top all-time managers doing this week? Any last remaining chips left that are active? Let's run through it all. So Andrew Moore is still holding the top spot in the Experts League, though he did get red arrow after a score of 72 points. Currently sitting at 162nd in the world though. Can he make it back in the top 100? There's exactly 20 experts in the top 10k with him at this stage, and Lowe's just a couple of points outside. So it's all to play for still. Well done if you managed to beat the average expert score, which was 80 points. The worldwide average was 65 in Game Week 36. For Game Week 37, 21% of the top all-timers are going to roll and give themselves an extra transfer to play with in the final game week, which isn't a bad idea at all, given it can be a chaotic game week with unexpected rotation, team news and leaks. 47% making 1 transfer, 25% making 2, and 5% are making 3 transfers. None making more than that. I made a slight tweak to this page by the way, so hopefully it's a bit easier to follow in terms of transfers made and whether there's any free hits or wildcards active. So, who are they buying and who are they selling this week? That's the big question. Well, the most bought player is Saka with 19%. In fact, just looking down this list, it's pretty clear there's 2 fixtures being targeted this week for the most part. Arsenal home to Burnley, Everton home to Sunderland. The next most popular buys after Saka are Gyökeres, Dewsbury Hall, Keane, Saliba and Dye and Trossard. Sunderland are 5th worst for expected goals and expected goals conceded in away games this season, and they're away to Everton next. So yeah, Dewsbury Hall and Dye, Beto, all solid picks this week if you're targeting goal involvements. And they are usable in Game Week 38 as well if need be, but yeah, obviously Spurs away could be a really tough fixture in the context of that game. And likewise, Keane, Tarkowski, Pickford, they're all perfectly good this week if you want good clean sheet odds. There's not much separating Keane and Tarkowski. I know Tarkowski's just got a goal and assist, but ordinarily I would say they're pretty close, and if that 1 million or so can go towards another move, then it's worth the saving. If you need a defender for Game Week 37 and 38 and you don't like playing an Everton defender against Spurs away, then you could consider one of the cheap Arsenal defenders if you've got that 3rd slot free. You know, Mosquera, he's got a good chance of playing right back in these final 2 game weeks for Arsenal. You know, if the plan is to play him against PSG in the final, he needs that game time. Calafiori is a doubt as well, so Lewis Skelly should be a safe pick as well for, I think he's just over 5 million, given he's got that versatility, he can play left back or in midfield. The other 2 fixtures potentially worth targeting is Brentford playing home to Palace, 4% are buying Thiago. And you've got Fulham playing Wolves as well, where 3% are buying Wilson. Wilson's been playing really wide as of late, not passing the eye test. He's not returned since Game Week 31, which was home to Burnley. In the last 2 games, he's actually been substituted in the 63rd, 61st minute. Though Wolves is a great fixture, of course, so it's still got potential. You might be better looking at Dewsbury Hall or Bruno G, someone around the same price and cheaper there. Wait, Trossard as well, he scored that crucial winner in Arsenal's last game. He's only 6.5 mil, and 8% are going for him home to Burnley. He's not necessarily totally nailed on for the final 2 games because, you know, Eze and Martinelli can both play down the left there, but obviously high potential for a low price, and he's a huge differential. He's barely 1% owned, so I don't mind that at all. The most sold list is Rodgers and then Tavernier, and then it's Lacroix, João Pedro, Palmer, Munoz, Sarr, Calvert-Lewin, Mitoma, Welbeck, Eze, Semenyo, Senesi, Enzo and Struijk. I mean, in peak FPL fashion, Pep benches Haaland and Cherki. O'Reilly not even in the squad, and then Semenyo starts and scores and gets 90. And Foden gets the start and he comes away with 2 assists in the first half. Man City mids just feel like a minefield right now, given they've got the FA Cup final, and then 3 days later it's Bournemouth away after the deadline, so we're going in blind. Like, for all we know, Cherki does come back into the 11, Semenyo misses out, or maybe Semenyo just keeps playing and Cherki's benched for Foden again. If you've got the choice, it's not a bad play necessarily to get rid of a City mid and, you know, go for someone that you at least know is going to play, like in Dye, Dewsbury Hall, Bruno G, etc. A quick look at chips. Many different paths taken this season, and it all leads back to this one place with 100% of chips used up now. 6% have got their bench boost active, and that is the final batch of chips. MLK has activated his bench boost and he shared his team and his transfer plans with us. His team is Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, O'Reilly, Wilson, and Bumo, Bruno, Semenyo, Calvert-Lewin, Thiago and Haaland. And he's bench boosting Dubravka, Anderson, Van Dijk and Alderete. He's got 3 top 10k finishes, including a top 500 finish. I've chosen to use my bench boost in Game Week 37 because I expect Game Week 38 to be unpredictable with too many rotation risks to consider. My planned transfers are Dubravka to Pickford and Alderete to Keane. Dubravka didn't play in Game Week 36 and Pickford's got the highest probability to keep a clean sheet other than Raya, who I already own. Keane is a cheap option with strong goal threat, and Sunderland played Chelsea in Game Week 38 and Everton played Spurs in 38, so I prefer the Everton pair for the remainder of the season. Pickford is expensive, but I believe there's a small chance that if Arsenal can win the league before Game Week 38, Arteta will mass rotate in Game Week 38. I need a guaranteed starting keeper in 38. Pickford is good for the bench boost in 37 and he covers me in 38 with a decent fixture in case Rye doesn't start. I've chosen to take a punt on Gabriel as my captain this game week. I don't expect Arsenal to concede. Burnley have conceded 162 goal attempts from set plays this season. Only Bournemouth 164 and West Ham 181 have conceded more. Arsenal have delivered 170 shots on goal from set plays. Only Newcastle with 177 have managed more. I've never captained a defender in a single game week before. However, something about this decision feels right. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Malcolm. Best of luck, mate. Captaincy's wide open this week. Who are you guys going with? We've got somewhat of a split here. We've got Saka number 1 with 51% of the top all-timers going for the Arsenal winger. And then it's Gyökeres second with 21%. And then Bruno 13%, Gabriel 11% and Haaland 4%. Arsenal projected 3.3 goals for this game from the bookies, which is right up there as some of the most we've seen in a game all season. I mean, Saka and Gyökeres, they could be prone to an early sub. That's the only gamble there. Like, you need the damage done in the first hour of the game before the subs could come. Bruno, on the other hand, he's returned in every home game since Game Week 12, and you know he's nailed on for the 90 minutes. And Gabriel, obviously extremely high clean sheet odds. He's got 8 goal involvements this season. So yeah, Haaland very much overlooked this week in favour of the other names here. I mean, Bournemouth away could be a really difficult match given it's 3 days after the FA Cup final. And you know, Bournemouth, they get huge rest. They played last weekend and they have to wait all the way to next midweek. Like, we saw Bournemouth take points off Arsenal in a similar situation early this season, and that was at the Emirates, and they're unbeaten in months. Game Week 20, in fact, was the last league loss for Bournemouth. That was against Arsenal. And then they're undefeated in 16 games, including winning that reverse fixture against Arsenal. Onto the experts team then for Game Week 37. The team is Verbruggen, O'Reilly, Gabriel, Van Heck, Saka, Cherky, Bruno, Gross, Haaland, Gyökeres and Calvert-Lewin. So Gyökeres joins the team and places João Pedro. Just barely though, by the way, just 1% higher ownership there. It's not a bad fixture whatsoever for Chelsea home to Spurs, so it's not the end of the world if you're playing João Pedro over Gyökeres, for example. 15 goals, 9 assists this season. He's actually the only Premier League signing this season to have managed 20 or more goal involvements in the league. So it's Saka captain, Gyökeres vice. How many players have you got from the experts team? Finishing up with some final thoughts and tips, here's what the top all-time managers wanted to say to you. Alex Mason says, not been the best year for me, so with 2 weeks to go, I'm planning on some punts to shoot me up the ranks if I can. Trossard transferred in and Gyökeres captain. Feels like a nice couple of moves to go against a leaky Burnley with a likely to be rotated Palace before their cup final on the final day. Good luck everyone. FPL Obsessed Family says, the possibility of the league being decided before the final day is far from ideal with triple Arsenal and City likely on the cards for this game week. Hopefully City will keep things alive going into Game Week 38, but I'm not confident about that Bournemouth game. FPL Vert says, with just 2 weeks left, we're officially in last chance saloon territory. Following the Man City and Palace 3-0 result, the Citizens have now posted back-to-back 3-0 scorelines in the league, keeping the title race alive as well as scoring 6 unanswered goals to boost the goal difference. Arsenal still hold the advantage with a 2-point gap, and will know that 2 more wins will deliver the long-awaited Premier League trophy back to North London. The Gunners will have 8 days to prepare for their host of the league's most porous defence in Burnley. So considering that since the 2-1 defeat at the Etihad, Arsenal played 5 games since, winning 4 and conceding 0 goals in open play, it would appear that double defence and an attacker is the play here. I'll be hoping Gabriel and Saliba can continue their defensive form and that Gyökeres captain can haul, with Haaland travelling to 15-match unbeaten Bournemouth 3 days after the FA Cup final. Good luck everyone. And lastly, Amun Powell says, I'm pleased to announce that I'm yeeting Morgan Rogers from my team this week. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll be live streaming on Friday afternoon to see in the GW37 deadline. See you then.